Hello, hello, hello. Angel here on a very sunny day, on a day off. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing splendidly because, as mentioned, I am day off. So I thought today I would do a hashtag to Sylvie at Fairlight Tarot. I want to say the channel name is. This came about, or should I actually first wait, let me just tell you what the hashtag is. Hashtag decks I can't put down. And this hashtag has come about because of these decks, which you'll see lined up on my reading cloth. Now I'm today on the floor, which I'm not usually on the floor, I'm usually on my desk, but I needed a big space because I have started to do Jessie Chom's hashtag Into the Woods decks, which I personally am using. I'm using the prompts as a tarot spread, so I'm doing some very deep, inspiring work with those prompts in my shadow work, within my shadow work practice right now. So that's how these decks have come about. So I was taking a break from that reading. I grabbed a cup of coffee and I was thinking, I wanted to film this video. Wanted to film a video response, so why not do it with these decks? So I hope all that makes sense, and with that in mind we're going to jump in with the first deck. And the first deck is a deck that is no stranger to my channel. It is the Tarot of Strange Antlers, or Branches, or Sprouts, depending on how you translate it. Beautiful backs. Edge mine in brown. This is a mass market French deck and I love it. I really, really do. This deck makes me want to totally get naked. It makes me want to go into the woods, cover myself in mud, build a massive fire and dance around that fire whilst, creating rituals and casting circles and doing some magic. Yeah, it's the truth. Honestly, it really does. This deck feels empowered to me and raw and wild and free. Definitely raw and wild and free. I love the art style. I love the colour palette. I don't tend to go for this kind of colour palette generally. I tend to shy away from grey, to be honest. Like within home decor, or if I painted my apartment, grey would totally be a colour that was on the other end of the spectrum from yes. It would be a total no. So when I saw this deck and fell in love with it, I was really shocked because it is predominantly grey, or greys and earthy colours, but it's just amazing. I love this deck. I really, really do, and it's been absolutely amazing for the work I've been doing with Jessie Chom's prompts. I promise you, I am not sponsored by Jessie, although I have mentioned her quite a few times within my last videos, but it's just the work that I'm doing with her amazing hashtag, which is what's led me to be using these decks, actually, to be honest. So yes, that was the first deck. That is my going into the woods, getting wild deck, I've got to say. Okay, a total surprise to me this month was this deck. This is the Oak Ash and Thorn. Have I even showed this on my channel before? Not too sure. I got this about 2 years ago, I think. Must have been about 2 years ago. And obviously it's an indie deck, and I've never used it. I love the artwork when I open the deck. Obviously I bought it because I love the artwork, and I really thought I would work with it. And I know I bought it into rotation to be used. It might have been a year ago possibly. And it sat in my tarot cart and I was like, no, I don't feel drawn to work with that deck. And I don't force myself to work with decks if I don't feel drawn to them. It's not, my practice isn't like pulling teeth. I'm supposed to enjoy my practice, and I want to be using decks that I feel called to. And this one hadn't called to me. And then about 3 or 4 days ago, I just got this you need to use the Oak Ash and Thorn. You need to get that deck out. And I got it out and I shuffled it. And since then I've been using it for, as mentioned, this tarot work that I'm doing. And it's been amazing. It's been such a beautiful, I don't want to say gentle, well yeah, it has got a gentle vibe for me, I've got to say. Some decks that I work with are quite, in your face with their messages, and this one isn't. It's quite, I find it quite gentle and nurturing, and it's like wants to hold my hand on my journey, and I'm totally down for that. It can totally hold my hand on my journey. So that was a total surprise this month. This was not on my radar to be used, but I'm so glad that it called to me to come out to play. The next deck is no stranger to my channel. You will have seen this a squillion and one times, Darkwood Tarot. This is my tried and tested shadow work deck. I still don't like the edging that I did on it, and I still want to change it, but I'm too busy. I'm too busy reading with this beautiful deck to do anything about the edging right now at the minute, I've got to say. Love this deck. Mentioned before, it was an eBay find. Never expected it to have the impact on my healing journey that it's had. This deck is a truth sayer. Can I say that? I'm going to say that. But in a very kind, nurturing way. At the beginning, I felt it was a bit like it kind of slapped me in the face to get my attention. Since then, I found the readings have calmed down, or maybe it's just because I have opened myself up to receive the messages, and I'm not trying to fight against the messages that I received from this deck in the beginning. I'm kind of on board with what it's going to tell me. Maybe that's why I find that the messages are easier to swallow, possibly. Yeah, and I'm going to say I did an amazing thing with this deck very recently, which you might already do this with your decks. I don't, but I'm going to explain it. So we'll say that I shuffled the deck, and then I had a question as usual, and I pulled the jumper card, which I always do, from the deck and read it, and then I turned the deck over to read the card that was on the bottom, because I tend to use that card as well in my readings. And we'll say that this was the bottom card, right? So look, I've got one card laying down. This was my jumper card, for instance, I'll say, and this is the deck this was the card that was on the bottom. And then I read this card, and I did this, and then this card also resonated with the question that I'd asked, and I thought, oh, that's really interesting. Okay, maybe this card's also supposed to be part of my reading. But this brought up, not this specific card, but this card, whatever this card was, brought up another question, and I kind of was thinking about that question. I turned to the next card, and that card, it was answered that question. It was almost like a running dialogue with my deck. Now, I do have dialogues with my decks, however, that tends to be based around, we'll say, like a spread question, and then I kind of go off on a tangent with the dialogue with the deck. This was different. I literally, I kid you not, went through each card in the order that I'd shuffled them in and received an amazing reading. And what I did, I journaled every single card, right? And usually what I do when I journal is, for instance, the Seven of Cups. I'll write the Seven of Cups, and I'll write the planetary association with that card, and I will also write the elemental symbol or association with it as like a training, learning thing to keep my mind with the to keep these fresh in my mind. And then I write some keywords down, and I write a little message. I didn't do that this time. I literally just wrote down whatever I got in my mind as the message. And I did that for every single card. And when I read my journal back and what I'd written, it was like over an A4 page. It was unbelievable, the reading that I got from it. And you might have done this before. I have never used the deck in that way before. And I would really like to use another deck in the same way, to try it out, to see if that would also work on another deck, or if it's just this one. But that was amazing. So yeah, that was a really fantastic experience I've had with this deck this month, as well as the other experiences I've had with this deck previously. Enough about the Darkwood Tarot. Let's move along to this one. This was a total surprise. This is I think it's called the Antique Anatomy Tarot. I got this in like a box set. This is the guidebook from the box set, The Modern Tarot Reader. The deck is by Claire Goodchild. I think this was an indie deck originally. This one's mass market. I edged mine in like a mustard colour, which I love. And I purchased this one a long time ago as well. Love the artwork. I believe I saw it on Tarot Tube to begin with, and felt really drawn to buy it. Then I got it home, and I was like, no, I don't get it. And I couldn't get anything from the images either. And they're not very Rider-Waite-Smith, so I've had trouble with that as well. And then this deck, a couple of days ago, just started calling to me. And I think that is because I've been really in my head recently, and I wanted to like get it back into my body. I know it sounds a bit bizarre. And it made me think of this deck. When which is maybe a little bit bizarre because there could have been other ways to kind of you know, get back into my body, for instance, with crystals, or maybe with yoga or movement or something. But I don't know, this deck just like sent out a call to me, and I was like, yes, this is the deck I need to help me with that. And so I've been using this as well for that, to get back into my body and not be so much in my head. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this deck, and I'm totally sure if I've ever done a reading with it, which I don't remember doing any readings with it, to be honest, but I do remember thinking I'm not going to be able to use this deck because I don't know what these images mean. And now they're kind of like, it's like clear as a bell with the messages that I'm getting from it. So that's really amazing. I'm really impressed, really impressed. So yeah, my work with this one isn't done at the minute. I'm still going to carry on using this because I'm halfway through Jessie's prompts, and I'm in no rush I don't want to rush through it. I want to take my time with it. So yes, those were the 4 tarot decks. I've got 4 oracle decks, and this is the first one. This is the Woodland Wardens Tarot. No, sorry, Oracle. Goodness me. This was on my list for April to be used. I showed this in my April Intentions and Decks video. However, in that video I didn't really know where this was going to show up. Oh, sorry, I'm bending down here, so I'm kind of off balance slightly. I'm on the floor today, so if you see a kitty cat walking about, you know why. Sorry, digressing. Yes, so I didn't know where this was going to, you know, land in my practice month, because I'm working with a fairy tale theme, fairy tale and folklore theme, quite loose theme there. And although this gives me a storybook vibe because of the artwork, I wasn't particularly sure where it would land, and this is where it's landed with this work. So I've been using this. I've been loving the plant associations. I'm feeling a real draw to plants this month, and I feel that's going to be a theme running into May. Spoiler alert. But you know, things can change, you never know. But I've been so enjoying this, and I love the guidebook. I really like the reflections in the guidebook that give you a chance to kind of journal, or just to reflect, you know, within your mind. It doesn't have to be a journaling exercise, of course, but loving this one, so enjoying it. The next one is Into the Lonely Woods. This was a deck that was also on my list for April. I plan to work with this one with the Darkwood Tarot. Now, I mentioned the Darkwood Tarot can be quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Honest and direct with the readings, and I felt this deck would sweeten the pills, would sweeten the truth pill from that deck. I like that. I'm definitely going to say that, and it has been. Oh my goodness me! I mean, don't get me wrong. It is quite gentle in its messages. The guidebook is written by Lucy Cavendish, I want to say. Wait, am I right in saying that? Yes, I am correct in saying that. The artwork is by Dan May. And thinking about it now, this has also got a bit of a story book, fairy tale kind of art style, right? Do you not think? I didn't think about it when I chose it for my April Decks Intentions, but doesn't it give you a bit of a, I don't want to say gargle, that's the wrong word. What's the word I'm looking for? Not ogre. And this gives me a Red Riding Hood theme. That's interesting. Not ogre, not gargoyle. I don't know. I'm just going to say woodland creature. I don't know. And now it totally taps into this walking into the forest as an archetype. Does it not? I mean, look at all this forest imagery. I say that now, and there's like a sea theme, but you know, generally, it just totally is tapping into this work that I'm doing. I'm loving this deck, and it sweetens the pill, the truth pill from the Darkwood Tarot, but not in a namby-pamby way, just in a easy to swallow kind of way. I hope that makes sense. Let's move on to the next Oracle deck. Okay, so that's going to be the, what's this one called? That's answer the question. The Earth and Bone Oracle. This was a mass market deck. I love the gilding. Look at this. Beautiful. Now this one sits, surprisingly, you know, believe it or not, on my self-love desk. It sits under my self-love altar, so I've always got like access to it. It's really easy to grab. I tend to use this deck with the Darkwood Tarot as well, if I'm honest. And I use this in combination with a couple of other decks. One of the Oracle decks is coming up next, which I'll show you in a wee second. Now, I really enjoy this deck. The images are quite dark, but I don't find the messages dark. I don't find them... I mean, the images can be a little bit haunting, possibly, but I find that the images are really intuitive, and I like that there's 3 keywords. I like that there's the main title on the cards as well. And actually, I've got to say, I really enjoy the guidebook. So it's a plus. It's like, you know, this deck, in my eyes, it can do no wrong. I mean, look. It's slotted in really nicely with this forest theme again. And you know, I'm going to say that I've been using these decks. I pulled them very intuitively. This was not a deck that I planned to use for this work I've been doing with the prompts I'm working with now, but I just got that intuitive hit again, and I was like, oh, I need to bring that forward. I need to use that. So yeah, it's another deck that I can't put down. And why would I want to? Why would I want to? I mean, come on. Okay, last but not least, that's got to be this one. This is the Lopatin Oracle. Let me just show you the box so you know what I'm talking about. This is a low Scarabeo deck. I've edged mine in blue. There's not so many cards in this deck, unfortunately, and I'm going to warn for nudity because they can be a bit risque, some of these images, which is all good by me, but I don't want anyone to be offended, so skip if you don't want to see risque images. As mentioned, this is a low Scarabeo deck. I think there's 6 cards, which doesn't bother me. I know what bothered me in the beginning was that there are no keywords on the cards, but actually I'm really glad for that now, because it allows my mind or my intuition to what's the word? Absorb the message without being prompted by a keyword. I mean, you know, and I did buy this deck back at the end of, I want to say like November last year, when this wolf energy, this inner wolf energy started coming through to me, and I felt this would be the perfect deck, and it has been the perfect deck. It's like held my hand through this inner wolf journey. I mean, look at this, and some of the images like this can feel a bit threatening, maybe a bit hostile, but they're not. The guidebook is really good. The guidebook, there is short like descriptions in the guidebook, and I don't tend to go to the guidebook initially. I let my intuition work with the image, and then I go to the guidebook to add layers to the reading or to the messages that I've gotten through. And they're really, the messages are really deep. I personally feel they're really deep and inspiring. And I think this is just my opinion of the deck, but from the messages I've gotten from the guidebook as well, there's been some really great, I'm going to use the word prompts. There's been some really great prompts to go further with. Now, I'm not, in the guidebook there aren't specific prompts, but from what's written in the description of the card, there has been something that's prompted me to go further with the reading. I hope that makes sense. We're getting risque. Let's stop on that card there. So yes, these are the 8 decks that I cannot put down right at the moment. You know, ask me in a month's time, these might not be the decks that I use for this prompt, but right now these are the decks that I cannot put down, and that is thanks to this really inspiring, deep work that I'm doing with the deck, basically. So yeah, I'm not going to babble on. I'm going to let you continue with your day. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for sponsoring or watching and supporting my channel. Have a lovely day. Take care, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Toodaloo!